Ahoy there, me hearties. I hope you've had a great week, and if not, I'm sorry to hear about that. I hope this video goes some way to mending your pain. Now, when last we spoke, I was partway through customising this Triang mineral wagon. As you can see, I've not been entirely idle since then, and I've done much the same on this one. The key difference is that this one I've gone for a much lighter, more orangey kind of rust. That is very deliberate because when you look at colour photos of goods trains in the BR Steam era, what you will notice is that you very rarely got two identical wagons. There would be differences in degree of dirt, degree of wear, disrepair, paint colour. So that's something I wanted to reflect here, partly for the sake of realism and partly just because it looks more interesting. Now, the other change I have made is that I have done a little bit of painting. Most obviously, the chassis here. Is that the plural of chassis? Chassis? I honestly, I've never heard, I've never come across that. Anyway, let's sort of bring them more into the light as preachers tell us we ought to. Now, as you can see, as with the bodies, I've gone for slightly different colours there. That's some rough shunting there. I have used a couple of ready mixed paints by Railmatch. They are weathered black and frame dirt, which, yeah, as that's also had some rough handling. Those are great for representing sort of grimy underframe colours. If you can't get hold of them or you'd rather make your own, it's easy enough to do with black, grey, brown. Just mix them up until you get a murky colour. Really, that's all there is to it. The other bit of painting I've done is this here data panel. Now, this is something where I'm going to be a little bit tricky. Let me tell you about it. All right, let's add our data panel. Now, the data panel is, they've sort of tried to do a crude representation of it here. It's a little rectangle that gives the weight of the wagon and the number. It's something that you really do need to have on your wagon, even if it's otherwise a total mess. But the good news is, it doesn't have to be super neat. I've seen photos where it actually looks basically like somebody just slopped it on, any old way. So if they got away with that in real life, I see no reason why we need to get too hung up over neatness here in the model world. So let's just have a go. What you need is a fine brush. This is actually an artist's brush. But you can get special modelling brushes at any model shop. I believe you can order them online. And that's great for this kind of small detail work. The paint I am using is Citadel's Abaddon Black. I don't know who, what or where Abaddon is, but his black paint is very useful. Now, to do this, you need a steady hand and the heart of a lion. If you do not have the heart of a lion, then just the steady hand should do. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. So, little music there. Hope I won't get stung by YouTube's copyright. Don't sort of... See, I've kind of done exactly what you shouldn't do there and taken a little too much paint on the end of my brush. Kind of using the bottom edge of the numbering as a guide. There we go. That edge looks like it could do with a bit of tidying up. I think that'll do for now. There are various tricks we can use to hide any flaws with it, which I will also show you later. But as I say, there's no point getting too hung up about it being super neat. So, on to the next part. Alright, so next step is to add some data to the data panel. Otherwise it's just a panel. Nobody wants that. So, what I'm going to do here is a little cheat. Now, something I've learned, my other great hobby is theatre, and something you learn with that is that from a certain distance, you can't see fine detail. There is no point getting sort of really worried about detail that cannot be seen at a distance. And so it is here. Now, if you want to add data panels, you can by transfers, but you can also do this, which is you just kind of add some markings there, like that. Which, from a distance, kind of look like numbers. I mean, it's a sad fact that, in general, people don't pay a huge amount of attention to wagon markings. Obviously, you do get some wagon fanatics, to whom I apologise in advance. But that is a quick and easy way to do a job that sounds like it ought to be really difficult. Done the same on the other side there. The paint I have used is Citadel Layer, which is kind of thinner than their base coats. I find it quite useful for this kind of thing where you want to create a sort of slightly faded look. So, that being done, let's make our wagons a bit grubbier.